A very good evening to you who is watching us right now on the Family Hour. We want to thank the Almighty God, one, for the life He has given us. We want to thank Him for this is yet another month. And yeah, I believe that whatever failed in the previous month shall be accomplished in this September. But I cannot fail to thank you so much for watching Church of Uganda Family TV from morning up to now. This is the Family Hour, empowering families one episode at the other. As usual, Monday is always our day where we discuss education and career. Tuesday is always health. Wednesday, family finances and wealth. Whereas on Thursday, we discuss leadership and governance. Now, Friday is a very pertinent day, especially in this holiday where our children are back home, where we discuss parenting. Now, you do not have to miss any single episode of the Family Hour. And we also want to thank God who has protected us as Uganda and who is still protecting us. Yes, amidst the threats of bombs and terror attacks, we want to thank God that He is still protecting us. And we want to thank the Uganda police for the tireless efforts they are doing to make sure that we are safe. Yeah. And now, Adrian Austin Mukalazi is my name, and deriving into today's topic, we are discussing something very, very important. It reminds me of a story that they told us early as we were growing up, that days back, the only way a parent would know that their child is fit for primary school is when they told them to raise their hand and touch the opposite ear. So by that, I don't know which magic is there, but they used to tell us by that you're around 6 years. So that is when they would tell you to go to school. And very many people have really joined school through that experience. But today we want to look at a close analysis of Uganda's preschool education. Why is it important? You as a parent, are you wasting your money in that preschool, or there are benefits that your child is getting? And you who has not taken your child to school yet, or who is not even willing to take your child for preschool education, is your child missing anything? Is there anything you need to know? What is your role as a parent in helping this young child as they gain the preschool education? What are our expectations from the teachers who we entrust our children with? That and more is what we are going to have today. But with us is the Commissioner of Basic Education Standards, that is pre-primary and primary education, Mrs. Ankunda Doreen. It's a pleasure having you this evening. Kindly greet our viewers and then we'll continue.
Thank you, Mr. Mukarazi. Good evening, viewers. I'm happy to be here this evening.
We are also happy to host you. How is the department you're in of preschool and of pre-primary and primary?
The department is very fine.
Okay.
As a commissioner for pre-primary and primary education standards, basically we deal with quality.
Okay.
So for us, we look for standards and how quality are the education in our ministry.
Okay. That is interesting, especially when you say that for you deal with quality. There are a lot of issues that we don't know about that department where you are commissioner. If we are to start, maybe, what is pre-primary education?
Primary education, pre-primary is something very big.
Okay.
And this time wouldn't be enough to talk about it, but briefly, I would say that this is education you need to give your child, not necessarily when he goes to school, but from the time he's actually born, and education starts from there. So it starts from parents. Education doesn't start right from school. It starts from home. So education is wide. The child when he's born, we believe the environment has grown, is in, determines much how the child will be. And the way the parents handle the child, the environment. But when we ask preschool, is actually the preparation of this child as he really waits to go to this primary school. So there is a lot. But in other words, pre-primary education in Uganda, it emphasizes the observable and measurable skills, knowledge and values to be acquired by the children in areas including personality and emotional relationships. So as a child begins to talk, we need to observe, how does he talk? How does he react to different situations, especially when he's angry, when he's sad, when he's happy. So these are the things you need to observe from childhood, and you can really see how you can help a child grow before he goes to school. So it is a way of preparing a child. Prepare the child. Actually, we are not only preparing for the child to go to school, but preparing a child for future. How will the child be, depending on how you have really actually groomed this child to live in an acceptable society and community.
Okay, so this means that most of the role or most of the tasks are taken on by a parent, and not the schools where we take these children.
The parents have a big role to play.
We get into that role because very many parents might disown their responsibility and say, now that some parents are praying, I'm only waiting for this child to maybe clock 2 or 3 years, and I take them to school, and then I'll be relieved of. So they look at taking children to school as relief.
It's not right. Parents are really relieving. They are giving out their responsibility to some other people.
Okay.
But parents have a big responsibility in grooming these children. Yeah, so preschool, pre-primary school helps to sharpen the child's cognitive domain through learning. And when we talk of cognitive domain, we mean how children, when they are singing rhymes, songs, the way they are interacting. Before, most parents take children to school to socialize with the rest, and others don't know how to talk. Some take them to learn how to talk. Others take them, as you have said, to be relieved of their duty. Say, now the child is 3, I think he should go to school. But it is a responsibility. The beginning, the first responsibility is from the parent to ensure that this child is prepared before he goes to school. And then the teacher will start from there.
So looking at pre-primary education, now that this is an independent unit, and you as the commissioner, what are the aims of preschool education in Uganda? Because days back, I think there was no preschool education recognized by the Ministry of Education. And that is why most of the government schools were starting from maybe P1 to P7. And because we do not have we didn't have kindergartens then, I believe this is something that has just come up with development.
The ministry recognizes it.
I mean days back.
And that's why there is even the Act, the Education Act 2008. It talks of pre-primary, primary education, and post-primary. So it is a responsibility of Ministry of Education to ensure that these children are taught in the right way. And there is a curriculum for them.
Okay.
And that's exactly what the curriculum does. It ensures that children are taught the cognitive domain, as I have talked. There is emotional, social. How does a child relate? But I'm always disappointed by teachers, especially when children go to school. The first, I was told last week that the first day the teacher gave homework to this child who has gone to school on day one. And I was asking really the kind of homework this child was given. And when I was interacting with teachers, really, why they are over pumping these children who have come to learn. You know, when we say education starts from the time of birth, and some even go back and say from the time conception takes place. So there is a lot these children need to learn before you take them to academic world.
I think sometimes it is the pressure of both the parents and the school proprietors.
When I was talking to the teachers, they say they are the parents who demand homework. They want,
for money.
Once they see their children talking English, they say that's all. But there is a lot this child needs to learn, parents. Please, there is a lot these children need to learn in this world to cope up with the challenges of the new world they have come in.
Maybe that is the reason why some go crying, they don't want to reach school, because of some of these pressures.
Yes, and now it takes back to the teachers, of course, after parents preparing them. We encourage teachers to ensure that the learning environment is so conducive for these learners who have come from home. The teachers of nursery should be so caring and loving to ensure that they receive these learners and teach them the right and appropriate manner, not necessarily academics, because the curriculum talks about the 5 learning areas, and that is communicating in an acceptable, there is communication, there is developing language, relating with others in an acceptable way, exploring and interacting, which means these children need to do most of their time in play, in singing, rhymes. The cognitive their cognitive is being developed. It's not only through mathematics, through English that children can, once they speak English, then you say, go with your head high that my child has achieved. No, that is not that thing.
Okay.
And that's not what we opt to have as Ministry of Education and Sports. Please follow the curriculum given by you. They go on picking things for P1. You find some teachers are teaching things of P1, matter of primary, and yet these children are still are being prepared. They are being prepared to know how to associate, know how to relate, know how to talk, to develop their language, to associate. And now if you take them, once they skip these basics, it is very bad to take them back. They are very, 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 very important, which they should not really miss out in life. Okay. And once they miss them in life, then they will not gain, they will not achieve their full potential. They would have lost it.
Now, when you talked about singing, you reminded me of a friend who said he will never take his child to learn how to sing and count ABCD.
Why?
He says they can teach that at home. They can sing at home. They can count ABC, so you cannot waste that money.
No, you know, I told you these domains. There is emotional, there is social, there is cognitive. In social, it is they learn how to socialize with other children. Yeah. And if, of course, when you are in class, of course they beat you up. But how do you respond? How do you react? That is also something you are learning. But if you stay confined home, you lose it. You need to socialize so that you learn to control temper, so that you are getting used. When you go to primary, then it will be easy. So the most important thing is really to teach them these basics, how to relate with others in an acceptable way. When we talk of relating with others in an acceptable way, is teaching them how to pray, teaching them how to greet, teaching them how to say thank you, teaching them how to say sorry. Those are the basics of pre-primary education.
Okay. Now, we also look at a situation. Of course, we have some young ones that are just dragged to school. But then we also have parents who take these children while beating them to school. So the child reaches school when they're crying, and then sometimes maybe the teacher is a little adding on to the frustration they have.
It's very...
What would be the right way of a child to interest their child to go to school?
It's very disappointing. With this even early morning, children are waking up at 3, taken, they are forcing them to take breakfast at 4. Say, even us, you can't wake up and take breakfast at 4, honestly.
Sure.
You can't even have the appetite. But
I leave home at 5:30, but I never take breakfast.
You force them to open their mouth, you force them to swallow. So the whole thing. And then after sending them maybe to the bus or what, for you go back and sleep. Some parents go back and sleep. So are you sending the child to study really? So it's really hard, and it frustrates us as a Ministry of Education, because parents have. But we don't even blame parents, because some parents are going to work and they want, of course, take children, leave them to school, then they also go to work, and then in the evening they come and pick them. You know, we are so busy that we are not minding about the health of our children, and this thing will definitely affect them in future, because they need to rest. Okay. And when we go to school, the environment also is terrible. It's like our children are living like army men. Wake up very early in the morning. When you go to school, they say, do this. That teachers also teach, like, they are lecturers, do this. And the attention of a child really is very short. That the attention is on and off, on and off. And when it is off, you have to look for something, an interrupt, either dance, or they should have play material, so that most of the time they're exploring. That is one of the learning areas in their curriculum. They have to explore and interact with the materials. But when you go to classes, you find the classes are empty. They're only lecturing math, English to these pre-school learners, which is very, very, very unfortunate. Their work is to interact. What for them, they are just learning. They want to discover. They want to know whether this pen, if it falls down, it can break. And you find teachers really with serious beating these young children, which is very, very unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. So we want to encourage our teachers, please make the environment so convenient for these children, so that at least, even if they wake up at 4 or 5, they go running, knowing that at least the environment at school is okay. When I feel sleepy, they will allow me sleep. That it should be free. The environment should be free. If the child feels like sleeping, let her sleep. If he feels like playing, let them go and interact with enough play materials in class, because every corner should have play materials. If he gets tired to play with these kind of items, he go to the other corner. If he's tired, he goes to the other, different kind of play material. And if he finishes interacting with them, then he sleeps. And you shouldn't say the child has done nothing. Even if you are a parent, it has worked. The brain is being developed.
As a parent, they'll ask for accountability.
No, the child has learned, even if he's at home and he goes praying, provided the play is controlled. And then he comes home tired and says, Mommy, I'm tired, I want food, I want water. Don't say, just go away, what have you done for me? The child has worked. He has done work. But surprisingly, when he wakes up and sits without doing anything, you start saying, are you sick? What is the problem? Huh? So let's allow them, let them be free, let them enjoy. They don't have these problems of ours. They are very innocent. Let them enjoy the environment. Let them explore. Let them discover. Let them be happy. Don't bring into their problem. Some teachers say, hey, don't disturb me, I have my own problems. Now, if you have your own problems, does it concern the child? Please, let's not transfer anger and problems into these innocent kids. Let them live their free life environment, and let's not transfer problems to them. Then that's when they will live happy and they will achieve, provided we teach them the right things to do. Teach them how to live, teach them how to behave, teach them how to live with others, so that they live this kind of stage when they are very happy. That's what we request our parents and teachers, to leave children alone out of our problems.
How long should a child be in preschool?
The official age for a primary kid is 6 years. So at least as you prepare from 3 to 5, they can be being prepared. They can be prepared 3 to 5. Then 6 years, they go to a primary school to study this curriculum of primary 1. But there is also a curriculum for preschool learners. Much as it is being developed, and of course they are being improved, and
And I believe there is actually a need, and an urgent need, for this curriculum to be rolled out after it has been modified, because it has brought in a very, very sensitive aspect of grading schools. So we have first world, second world, third world, and sometimes some parents feel a little uncomfortable because their children go to certain schools which are considered third world, maybe because of the school fees they pay, and then because the other school they pay slightly higher, because you realize some preschools charge up to 1.5 million, and then the other charges 200,000. So you who takes your child to a school that charges 200,000, then that one is considered a third world school. But getting to the 3 years, approximately 3 years, that a child spends in a preschool, what, besides the social and psychosocial emotional aspects they learn, what else are they supposed to learn in that period, so that parents can really have their peace that if my child is in baby class first term, their expectations should be minimal and not very high, because like we said earlier, that the homework comes in because of the pressures from the child. The parent will ask for the teacher, where is the homework? Have you not given my child homework today? And then when you don't give them homework, they think maybe the school is not doing the right thing. They're not taking it the right way.
Yeah, you are right. But the three, that curriculum is really very clear, because it has activities for 3 to 4 and then 4 to 5, and then it is specified, and the activities. Children are supposed to like name people they stay with. They should be able to describe. If a person comes home, you know, some children may not even be able to express. The person, maybe when you left, there was a fat person who came here. The person wanted you, he was short, fat. That you know, that expression. Also, so they should be able to name, express. They should be able to know the environment they are in. You are supposed to know things that surround the environment, the people you stay with, mom, dad, and then the activities. What does dad do? What does mom do? Can you draw, mom? Can you do? There are very many activities around that, but all those things should be done with play. You know, everything should be enjoyable to children, so that it's not a stress. Whereby after that, they have been shading, they have been doing what, they have been naming, they have been, and then when they go home, then you give them work, and then when they are supposed to go to pray at work, and then again they are you know,
we actually have
brain.
Parents who have even taken up the role of a teacher. A child comes from home without homework, and the parent will give this child homework. We are taking a short commercial break.
What we are looking for.
When we come back, we shall continue from there. Welcome back from that commercial break. It's a pleasure having you still watching the Family Hour here on Church of Uganda Family TV. We thank you so much, and what you're doing is indeed the right thing. Now, I want to remind you that we have a lunch hour fellowship from Monday to Friday here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Please purpose to have that one fully packed and enriched hour from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I believe your life will not be the same. That is another way of impacting you and enriching you. Now that our children are back at their home, yeah, you can watch this lunch hour as a family from Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That 1 hour is very, very important. It is full of spiritual nourishment. So purpose not to miss it out every day after lunch time request show. Now we are continuing with the Family Hour with me, Adrian Austin Mukalazi, and we are looking at Uganda's preschool or primary education. With us is Mrs. Ankunda Doreen, who is the Commissioner of Basic Education Standards, that is pre-primary and primary education. We are looking at what are the mistakes that we do and what we can learn out of them. Mrs. Ankunda, before the break, we were actually looking at parents who are Isaac. A teacher does the right thing, and when they come home, the parents will draw for their child, give them colors, and tell them to shade, even when they have not yet reached that level of the particular tasks they are giving them. How harmful is this, and what should be done as the right thing?
Thank you. As I've really said, we are over pumping them. We are giving them too much, and yet there is a lot they need to learn in this period. Because if I could give you a quick example, when you were born, the child is very innocent and he knows 0 words. And he has to learn one by one. He needs to know every object, every word, mama, So what he says is what he hears. When you say go, he will go. When you say love, he starts now making his words. So there is a lot these children need to know rather than pumping them in academics. And time for academics is not too much. I'm not saying they should not learn English, but let them have time to rest. Let them have time to discover their own environment. Let them understand. Let them learn to share. Let them learn to sing and play. Let them learn to relate with others in an acceptable way. Because where we are losing it is, if we don't teach them to learn to relate with others in an acceptable way. These are the people sometimes whom you have in the community. I think you have them. You say, hey, that one doesn't bury. That one, it's sometimes we shouldn't blame these people.
That one doesn't greet.
That one doesn't greet. That one is indisciplined. They don't know even God. I think these are the things we should teach our children at that stage. And once something is stuck in their mind, it will never go out. It will never go out. Though there is still a lot, but parents, me inclusive, we are really doing a lot, and we have left our children to the maids, to the wrong people, and we don't teach them the right things. There are so many people out there who will teach them the wrong things, and we shall not blame them. So at this stage, it's a stage of grooming. It's a stage of showing them love. It's a stage of teaching them how to share. Some parents pack for children food. And I think teachers out there who are listening, you've handled cases where the parents come to complain. I pack for my child food, but it is eaten by other people. And my child stays hungry. We are already showing an example that your child should never share. For them, they are so innocent that once they can even share something very small to the whole class of 100 children, if it is one bun, one bread, something small, and for them that is their happiness. And we should these children need to be controlled, need to be taught the right things to do at this age, not academics. Mathematics, subtracting, dozens of books, dozens of rims, really to do what? Each preschool should have a resting place. They should, after doing all they are supposed to do, interacting with the environment, most schools have outdoor material. They should also have indoor, so that after praying from inside, then they go out, and then they sleep. After eating, they sleep. They should have resting places. So, but children learn from morning to evening till their parents come. We are doing a wrong thing. Next time we come, we shall talk about the policy, the real technical work. But now we are
looking at the
general things.
Yeah. Now, talking about the general things. Earlier, we earlier brought in the aspect of preschool and the various roles that each and everybody is supposed to take on. And you highlighted on the role of a parent, and much of this has been on the side of the parent. What about a teacher? When they entrust you with this young child, how do you create that environment that will make them stay? How do you sustain them into the environment, the new environment, so that they can achieve the intended goals?
Yeah, thank you so much. Many people have been asking, and they have been, why are they saying even nursery teacher should have a degree? It is very, very, when you are handling this young child, you should have a special talent, a special character. And if you know you don't have passion for children, you would rather tell the director of your head teacher that I cannot teach these young children, because they have come to learn, although they have not only come to learn academics. The way you dress, for them they take it. The way you talk, they take it. The environment, you have to make it so conducive so that the child, when he's being taken to school, he goes running. When they go for holidays, he tells, Mommy, when I'm going back to school, it means the environment is so conducive. There is a school I went to in Ushenyi, I think Pearl. The teacher there is so good. Every learner knows that child. It's called, I think, Jackie. They come and embrace. The way some teachers wait for children at the gate. Others have sweets. Others, the way they welcome them, makes the environment so nice for the children. And the parent goes back saying, at least I've left my child in good hands. And they don't even, some pay a lot, but still they complain. It all depends on the teacher. There are teachers who really love children. They are every time smiling, every time interacting with children, every time teaching them the right thing. But there are teachers who are always gloomy. Yeah? And me, when I enter a class and I found the whole class is so quiet, I know there is a problem. Because children are not supposed to keep quiet. There is a class I went to and the teacher had put up a cane, and it was just thrown like this, like the cross. Like people say, when you see the cross, you remember that Jesus died for us. Yeah. So when they look at the stick, they all keep quiet. Yeah. By the time they are supposed to open the mouth, they look at it. It's very bad. So teachers of preschool should be so loving, so jolly all the time. Even if you have your problems, please, when you enter class, make sure you leave them at the gate. You know that you are going to socialize with children. And that's why some people say children of teachers don't get old, because you can't be teaching young children and then you get old, because you come down to their level. They sit down, you sit down, they jump, you jump, they sing, you sing. Sometimes one can hardly tell that even there is an old person. That's why teachers don't. So if you see teachers getting old, you know that they are bad teachers. I'm sorry.
There is also something else that is said about that teachers who teach learners at one time start thinking like them, start acting like them. Is it true?
Yes, because these children sometimes, they are funny. And they look, when you are teaching children, you may think they are young, they don't understand. But they see whatever you do, and they go back and they start whatever you are doing, they do to their siblings. Now, one time I saw a child, they just say, "You, keep quiet." Exactly what she sees you doing is what he goes back home doing. So please learn so many songs so that every day at least they go back with their song, they pray, they enjoy rhymes. Let life be easy for these young children. I think teachers, please, teachers out there, please make sure you make the school environment so conducive for our learners so that they love it. And there are those actually, by the way, who have home background is not good. And the only time they enjoy is when they're at school.
Yeah. So
make sure the school environment is so conducive, coupled with prayer. Make sure there is a lot of plays. Make sure they sing. Make sure they dance. Make sure they draw interesting pictures, and always appreciate. Oh, thank you. Starts even from handling a pen. How do they handle a pen? How do they sit? Posture. It's unfortunate that some schools, they don't have even where the desks where to write.
Yeah.
They have to first sleep on the floor
Yes.
to write.
Yes.
It's very unfortunate. But the sitting posture when they are writing, these beginners is also very, very, very important.
Is this the reason some of us don't write well?
Partly. Because you start with handling a pen. How do you handle a pen? How do you sit? Is the chair proportional to the table? Then, like this one is not good for me. So it needs to be suitable for the young learner to learn and shade. Do whatever, draw, mommy. I think they will not, if you don't say, people who stay at home, I read somewhere that they were asking animals which sleep outside, and one put it daddy. I don't know whether daddy was...
Pardon?
Animals which sleep outside. And one child put it dog and daddy. So sometimes learning becomes interesting when you tell them what to shade. You should guide them how to shade the people you want. And really, teaching is a very, 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 very good profession.
Wow.
It's a very, very good profession because you are interacting with children, the innocents.
And the parent watching us out there, Dad, you should not be the animal who sleeps at home. Well, that is very interesting, and I look at, you gave us an example of a school you went to, and the teacher had put a cane hanging somewhere. Now we look at punishing these children, because punishment is one of the way of mending their behavior. But how should they be punished, if they are to be punished anyway?
There are many ways of correcting someone. I don't want to call it a punishment.
Okay.
Because for us, we abolished caning.
Okay. But some schools are still...
It's terrible, but they are not supposed to cane these children. And when you find them with sticks...
A young child comes late, they beat them.
They are
as
not.
early as 7, they beat them.
And they are not. And there is actually this child study. That is something also very, which we need to talk about. But a child comes late for a reason, which you need to find out. Why? Especially when it is regular. Every time he comes late, you beat. Every time comes late, you beat. You don't even find out why. Is the child coming late always? Those are the things we should find out. Talk to the parent. Why? They will tell you, or the person who is bringing the child. But you're not supposed to beat. You're not supposed to punish. You're not supposed... There are many ways. I found a good teacher, and for him was saying, what have you done? You laugh at him. Then they laugh. Then the other one feels bad. Say, but say sorry. Yeah, have you forgiven her? Yes. Then the environment now becomes for children. Please. There are so many ways. In our school,
they used to clap for you. You do something funny, everyone claps, and you feel out of place.
There was also some person, and they would come late and say, hey, we recognize the arrival of Swan. Can you stand up and welcome? I say, I'll never do it. A person comes late and you're saying you are recognizing the arrival. So you would never come late. They are just positive rewards, positive, I don't want to call them punishments. You need to think, but make the environment conducive for learners, and they will improve by themselves. Yeah, like I had a story of one teacher that the student met him and was saying, I'm happy to meet you. You once, I had stolen a watch, and then you had that story.
Yeah.
Yes. But now the teacher, the way he handled it, nobody knew that he was the one who had stolen the watch.
Including the teacher.
Including the teacher said, even I
closed my eyes.
I closed my eyes when I was checking everybody's pockets. So there are so many ways. And they say teachers should be creative. Teachers should be creative. Prepare your work and your whatever you are going to do, make sure you are prepared. Don't think you are going to teach young children so that you should go when you are not prepared. Be organized and know that this one can do this one can do this, so that you group them according to their abilities. Then you can make learning interesting.
Okay. Indeed, learning becomes interesting when a teacher
Yes.
handles it the right way. Now, as we are heading towards the end of this discussion, we know this is holiday. Parents are working, they're overwhelmed, and they've resorted to sending these children to the teachers in holiday for coaching. Is this advisable? And even when they are still studying, on weekend, these children are taken to teachers to be coached as early as baby class.
Please give children space. The holidays are meant for children to rest. The holidays are for children, and I always tell they are not for teachers. Teachers should actually keep at school preparing lessons and schemes for the next term, but not children. Let children rest, because teachers are even being paid in holidays. So for them, they're always on duty. I had one district where the DO was saying, please be at school as you scheme and lesson plan. They were saying, hey, did the ministry give you authority? No, teachers are supposed to be at work. Only that some are at school, but that should be an excuse that can be listened to. But when you are called upon to work, but don't call children to school again. Children are supposed to be home and rest.
And the parent take the children willingly. So I think let us now speak to the parents. They take them willingly. They even pay money, additional fee for this coaching.
That's where we go wrong. Parents, I think we need to have time with our children. We are overworking. We are losing it. You are making school fees, but the children they are getting out of hand. You can't only teach academics. Where will academics take them when they are not disciplined? We've had so many who have studied, but they have not gained from the academics they have had. So please, parents, let's have time for our children. Let's have time for our children. It's not allowed. When we say holiday, let them be home. It was interesting during COVID when we were calling the children back. We had to take them through psychosocial because they have been with their parents. Imagine preparing them now to go back to school. I think they should be enjoying more when they are with their parents than when they are teachers. So teachers out there we are doing good work. Those who I want to say, those who are doing good work, thank you so much, and bravo. But parents, please, be happy. I think you should even be longing to be with your children for these 2-3 weeks. You also teach them these other areas. How to do home activities, cook, sweep, mop, and talk to them. Tell them stories, so that when they go to school, at least you divert their mind a bit so that they rest their mind. And then when they go back, they again serious work in academics.
They just tell us that great storytellers are great liars. I don't know how authentic that is, but as we are winding up, what are your parting shots?
I want to thank you so much for hosting me. It has been nice being here. And I want to thank teachers who are doing it rightly. There are teachers out there where you enter the class and you say, this is it. But parents also who force, please let the technical teachers tell you what to do, because they are technical in this. They know what they're supposed to teach. Don't say, my children should not just be there to play around. It is part of development. Please appreciate it. There is still a lot children can still learn. Time is still there. I want to thank you so much for hosting me. And thank you for listening to me.
Okay. And cheers to the teachers out there who are indeed making education very, very interesting, especially for the preschool, for the pre-primary. Thank you so much. And that is why I also appreciate my teachers. They really made me love education. Teacher Sarah Mugera, I salute you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. Now, we have Soul Moment next on your TV. So don't go anywhere. Have this prayer. And then, it will usher you into the night mode, sleep mode. But remember to wake up with us on Good Morning Family tomorrow at 7 a.m. God bless you and good night.